Malcolm. I'm a skiaholic. I've been skiing for 66 years.
Wow.
Had a single knee replacement, or I've had a single knee surgery, not a replacement.
Mm.
And this is this journey I'm going to tell you about is the science behind what restored my ability to ski the way I ski, which is open the lifts at 7:30 in the morning and or 8:30 in the morning and close them at 4, and be able to do that day after day. And this is the science behind that. I'm not going to talk about products, not going to do any selling, just the science. So my journey started with this lady in the upper left-hand corner that was worried about me because my wife had dementia, and she told me about something that dramatically, well, saved my wife's life, but and it restored her ability to speak. And of course, one of the first things she did, Thanksgiving of 2016, I get out of bed and she looks at me and says, Malcolm, you're starting to look like Santa Claus. And I put on a big belly, and my knee was starting to hurt when I skied. And so I decided it was time to do something about it. So I took this picture December 6th of 2016 and was able to release the belly fat. Well, that had a dramatic effect on my knee because every pound you have on your knee is four every pound you have on your belly is 4 pounds on your knees. And so that made a big difference as far as the pain in my belly. Uh, but it also helped me in January. I started skiing at Mount Rose 4 times a week because they got 57 feet of snow. And I was going nuts up there. They were the uncontested heavyweight champion of snowfall for the entire North America. It was crazy. And I was up there a lot. And what happened was I got back my muscles, and that also helped my knee. And the guy that explained the science behind what happened to me in getting my muscle back was Dr. Paul Arciero. He wrote this book on protein pacing, and that's something that I was doing to get my muscles back. And I'm going to shamelessly steal from his presentation on how that works. And of course, the aging process is a rather complicated scenario. You have two things happening, and age-related muscle decline in muscle strength and function is something called dynapenia, which I hadn't heard of until a few weeks ago. And that's distinguished from sarcopenia, which is the loss of muscle mass. So you can see in that chart, there's dynapenia and sarcopenia. And you can see it's a rather complex system that causes you to lose your muscle. And dynapenia is hang on just a second. I'm gonna move this. I've got to hang on just a minute. I've got to get rid of. Okay, I can't see my notes very well. Dynapenia is your body's ability to engage in muscle contraction so that you can perform activities and things you want to do on a regular basis at a very, very high level. And it basically, what I'm going to talk to you about allowed me to ski at a very high level. It also allows you to live independently with high levels of mobility and decreased mortality. So we're talking about life and death here, guys. So, and of course, sarcopenia is the combination of age-related factors leading to the loss of skeletal muscle mass. So your lean body mass is your retirement portfolio, especially for those last 10 years of your life, according to Dr. Paul Arciero. It's your retirement portfolio. Okay. This is a slide of sarcopenia, which is the loss of skeletal muscle mass and strength as a result of aging, and it's really a result of not having enough protein. And this is uh, a clinical study that was given to Dr. Mitra Ray, and she put it in her book From Here to Longevity. And it's a slide of their magnetic resonance images, and they show the proportion of muscle versus fat in the thighs of two women. The top one is an athlete with a body mass index of 22.6. The bottom is a sedentary 64-year-old woman with a body mass index of 30.7. And the dark area is muscle, and the white is bone marrow or fat. And notice how both bones are the same on the outside. And you can kind of see the shadow. You sort of need to be a radiologist really to notice this stuff. But the dark is or is the really dark is the bone, and inside is the marrow. And the older woman has a larger marrow in her bone because the wall of the bone has thinned dramatically because of muscle loss. Your bones grow or shrink in proportion to the size of your muscles. And would I be wrong to suggest that this lady might have in the bottom might have osteoporosis? Because what's happening is the walls of her bone are getting much smaller. Okay, and part of that with women is accelerated with menopause. While aging alone leads to a gradual loss in lean body mass, that's 1 to 2% per year after age 30. Hormonal changes during menopause further amplify these effects. So the hormone estrogen in particular exacerbates the changes in body composition in 3 ways. I'm just going to talk about one way, and that's with muscle maintenance. Estrogen plays a key role in muscle mass presentation, protein synthesis, and overall metabolism. And declining estrogen levels during menopause can accelerate sarcopenia. That's age-related muscle loss, decreasing strength and increasing fat accumulation. So what I was able to do is with this science was convert fat into muscle. And the way sarcopenia works, this is Dr. Arciero's slide, is, and I didn't know this, but your muscle acts as an amino acid reservoir. Okay. So lifestyle strategy that incorporates less calories basically affects that amino acid reservoir. So more importantly, you want to keep our nutrition high, and the way to safeguard against loss of muscle and loss of muscle function. Dynapenia is a focus on the quality of the food we're eating, especially in regards to protein intake. We want super high quality protein, and that means the highest quality amino acids we can consume as well. We want the highest quality amino acids we can consume along with that high quality protein. So as you know, people talk about as we age, especially after the age of 50, and we know this starts in the 30s, and 30-year-olds are a target for this group. You want to be consuming this high quality protein. And of course, where did we learn about amino acids? Well, Dr. Paul worked with Dr. Don Layman, who's one of the experts in this area. And so this is a slide or a video clip from a 2-hour presentation that Don Layman did with Dr. Peter Attia.
What we now know is that as you get older, the efficiency of that protein turnover goes down. So where a 16-year-old, you give them a certain amount of protein, they'll have a very good response. A 65-year-old will have maybe no response at all, or 10% or something. But what we have learned, sort of with the study of leucine and initiation factors and all of that, is that if you give an enriched source of essential amino acids, you can actually make the adult look just like the 16-year-old. So what we know is that the efficiency goes down, but the capacity to respond doesn't.
So that's exactly what happened with me. In my 60s, I got back my thunder thighs, and this is a picture of me at Squaw Valley. I had dropped my Squaw Valley Pass because I was intimidated by the terrain and especially the lift, KT-22. This is me at the top of the Squaw Creek chair, and that's in 5 feet of powder. And I was able to ski down that with powder. Actually, in a turn, the powder would go over my head. The lady that took this picture was 5 foot nothing. She would actually disappear completely in the powder and come back up like a submarine coming out of the water. It's unreal. So, and then of course, I ski with my daughter, who's the second from the left, and this is on the KT-22 chair, the chair that caused me to drop my Squaw Valley Pass. And she's with two championship Romanian skiers from the Olympic Valley. They live right there in the Olympic Valley. And of course, the guy next to me, championship skier. So obviously, he's passing me until about 1 o'clock. And then he stops passing me. And I realize he's getting tired. And by 3, all 3 of them were done. And the lift didn't close till 4. And I realized, well, I can ski till 4. It's no problem. So I'd gotten back my thunder thighs. And of course, part of the reason I lost my muscle was anabolic resistance. When you reach the age of 35 to 40, and definitely by 50, you're anabolic resistant, meaning your body is not as good at utilizing these amino acids from the protein you're consuming. So you have to increase and supplement the amount of amino acids that you're taking with your protein. And this is just showing a slide. I think it's an important table on the different qualities of protein you can consume, because you can see not all proteins are created equal. And obviously, whey protein isolate is what bodybuilders use, because it has so much of the amino acid leucine, which is the gatekeeper. Leucine is the light switch that turns on the other branched chain amino acids that stimulate protein synthesis to support your body lean body mass. And notice that this slide, the leucine and the BCAA branched chain amino acid content in foods, that came from research by Don Layman. You can see his name on the bottom there, adapted from Layman and Baum. And this is amazing stuff. So here is Don Layman again discussing this with Dr. Peter Attia.
It's important to recognize that whether you're 16 or 65, your body needs to make nearly 300 grams of new protein per day. So there's a protein turnover. Every tissue in the body is turning over. Some as fast as liver enzymes we replace every hour. Muscle proteins we replace with half-lives of around 15 to 16 days. So every 30 days, collagen turns over at about half-life of 100 days, which is why if you hurt your knee, it takes so long to repair it. The body replaces literally every protein in it about 4 times a year. And then if you think of, we have to make 300 grams of new protein per day, the average American intake is around 80 grams or less, women 70, men 90. That means that there's a recycling thing going on. So of every new protein that's getting made in the body, about 6 out of 7 amino acids are getting recycled.
Isn't that amazing? So basically, what Don Layman is saying is those amino acids are getting recycled 6 or 7 times to augment the protein you're taking in. And so, and Paul Arciero says that you need 1 gram per pound of your ideal weight. So if you're a 150-pound person, you need 150 grams of protein with those additional extra amino acids. Okay. So, of course, every store sells a shake, right? So I went to Costco and Walmart and GNC and Whole Food Market and all these places to look at see if they had an amino acid profile. And I couldn't find one. And finally, I went to Grocery Outlet where stuff is sold for cheap, right? And I looked through all their shakes. They had about 15 shakes with no amino acid profile. And then I found it. Here it is. So this is this is an expensive shake that was probably going to expire. So they sold it to Grocery Outlet so they could get rid of it, right? And here it is. Well, look at this. The leucine content in this is 556 milligrams. Okay. Well, of course, that's not enough for Malcolm. So the shake I take has 3,530 milligrams of leucine because it's the gatekeeper. It's the one that makes all the other amino acids work. So not all shakes are created equal, guys. So this is the last of Don Layman talking about this process of protein turnover and how you can make a 65-year-old respond like a 16-year-old. Last slide, last video with Dr. Peter Attia.
What we now know is that if you have a requirement that's about twice the minimum RDA, so instead of 0.8, it's 1.6 grams per kg, we can get the adult, the 65-year-old, to respond just the same as the 20-year-old as far as muscle protein synthesis.
All righty, so that is the good news and bad news. So to summarize this, you want 1 gram of protein for every pound, and you want that with branched chain amino acids. And if you do that, you're getting an enriched source of amino acids in the protein, and the 65-year-old will respond just like the 16-year-old. So the good news, bad news story is the bad news is your New York steak, chicken, salmon, lentils might not help you building muscle. The good news is if you give your body the right fuel, it has the capacity to respond.